Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a recap of what I wore in New Zealand, what I'm really glad I took with me, and what I wish I had left behind, things that I didn't end up wearing. I didn't actually film any of my outfits while I was away just because we were spending time with family and I really just wanted to live in the moment and enjoy it. So I kept a note of everything I wore on my phone, so I'm going to quickly go through it. If you haven't seen the blog post that I put up that detailed every single item that I was taking with me in my carry-on, I will link that in the description box below. It's quite detailed and I did include links to everything that I took with me in that post as well. Now the suitcase that I took with me on this trip is from Away, and this is just a standard carry-on size, and I found that this was the perfect size luggage for this trip. I was able to fit everything that I needed in there, which actually meant 3 oversized knit sweaters at the end of my trip when I came home, which I thought was amazing. And I really like the compartments in this as well. I really like the fact that on the right hand side it's got a pocket which you can put your laptop in, and it comes with a little laundry bag, which is really handy given that I often forget to take this with me. It also has an inbuilt charger, although I didn't actually take this with me on this trip. I didn't really feel it was necessary, but I think it would be great for a long haul flight. Now, before I even start to map out what I'm taking with me on a trip, particularly one where I'm taking carry-on only like I did for this one, and it was a week away, I have a look at the weather. So I usually start to do this maybe the week leading up to the trip, and then I really nail down what I'm going to take with me a few days beforehand, and I kind of start going through the process of making sure everything is clean and freshly laundered so that I can maximize the amount of times that I can wear it while I'm away. The second thing that I tend to do is look at what kind of activities that I'm going to be doing. So for this particular trip, I knew it was going to be really relaxed. We were mostly just spending time with family, and aside from catching up with one of my girlfriends, I didn't have any other dinners planned. So I think you guys may already know this if you have watched some of my other videos, but Luke's brother, his wife, they just had a baby, and so we were going over to visit her. I also went down to Wellington to visit my grandparents, which was really nice, so I had a couple of days with them as well, and I was pretty much just going to be spending time at their place. I feel like probably one of the key things that I ended up basing my entire travel wardrobe around was my coat, and the coat that I decided to take was my Stella McCartney coat. You will have seen me mention this in my favorites video. This was a major investment for me at the start of the year. I got it as a birthday present to myself, and I really have not regretted it. It's just been such a wonderful staple to have, and because it is navy, it's really classic and it goes with most things, which was sort of why I decided to pick it for this trip. I also feel like I developed a little bit of a style for this trip, so I kind of went for big oversized sweaters and then trousers or jeans, just because I knew it was going to be cold on the trip. Let's start with Wednesday's outfit. So this was my first full day in New Zealand, and I didn't actually leave the house. I was at my grandparents' place and we were just relaxing, catching up and just enjoying each other's company. And so what I decided to do was just go for comfort over everything else. So I wore this white tee from Ruby, and I actually was able to wear it just on its own because we were sitting in the sunroom at my grandparents, and the weather in Wellington was beautiful while I was there. It was actually so much nicer than I anticipated. No wind. There was a little bit of rain on the Thursday, but aside from that, it was just perfect weather and actually not that cold. So it was super warm in the sunroom, so I was able to wear that on its own. But for when it cooled down, I wore my Joseph sweater over the top. This is just kind of an ivory color, and then on the bottom I was wearing my redone skinny jeans in addition to my Isabel Marant belt. This is just a plain black leather belt, which I actually was able to add a couple of additional loop holes on while I was staying at my grandparents, because they've got a hole cutter. I don't really know the technical term. And then on my feet I was wearing my Sam Edelman loafers, just because these are super comfortable and I felt like they went with the outfit really well. Thursday was my last day in Wellington, so it really was a flying visit, and I wanted to make sure that the outfit that I was wearing was going to be comfortable enough to kind of go on the plane, but also smart enough that I could wear it out for dinner as well. So I went for layering again, just because it was a little bit chillier that day, and I wore my Enza Costa white tissue long sleeve tee. Now I really like this. It's quite fitted, which is something that I had kind of been looking for in this sort of style of top. It is slightly sheer, so you can see my bra underneath it. I don't mind that massively, but I think you could wear a little cami with it as well, and it's just a really great layering piece, even to wear under sort of sleeveless white tops in the winter time if you want to make them a little bit more cold weather appropriate. Then over the top of that, I wore my Assembly Label assembly label, sorry, oversized sweater. So this is a roll neck again. I really have an affinity with this particular style. I feel like it's just the only kind of sweater I really want to be wearing. I got this as an alternative to the Celine cashmere sweater, which I've had on my wish list for years. It's just really expensive, and this has sort of filled the gap for now. It isn't as nice quality as my Joseph sweater, however I do think given the price point it has been a really reasonable purchase, and I've been wearing it a lot. Then on my bottom half, I wore my Dr. Denim skinny jeans. Now I wore these a lot on this trip and I just really like these. They're super comfortable. They've got quite a lot of stretch to them. I've had these for about 4 years now and honestly they have been one of the best denim purchases I've made. I'd really like to buy some more from Dr. Denim just because I've been so impressed with this particular style. Belt wise, I wore my Sarah Van Oosterom chocolate brown leather belt. I really like the way that the brown contrasts against the black. I just think it's a really nice pairing. And then on my feet, I wore my Maybelline day heels just because these are pretty comfortable, but they're smart enough to wear out for dinner. And I probably would have just changed into my loafers if we were to go up to Macro. Just it would have been a pretty easy switch. The coat that I obviously wore, and I did wear this every other day except for one on the trip, was my Stella McCartney coat, and I'll show you guys in the cutaways how that looked with the outfit. Oh, and I forgot to mention the bag, but the bag that I used that day was this little Zodiac bag, and I get so many questions about this. I bought it off Amazon and I can't find the seller anymore. I don't know if they've maybe sold out of the style, but if I can find anything similar, I will be sure to link it in the description box below, just because I think that this is such a cute bag and it's a really great affordable dupe for the Prada Kahia bag. Friday was our first full day in Auckland. Luke actually met me in Auckland on the Thursday night and we just went round to his brother's place and we met our niece. She's such a cutie, really animated, a lot of spunk for a 2-month-old baby. And I just wore this grey top from Grana, which actually I think I forgot to mention this in my packing list, but this is just a really nice Pima cotton long sleeve top. I really like Grana's Pima cotton. I just think it is something they do really well and I prefer it a lot more than Everlane's Pima cotton, and Luke feels the same way. So if you are looking at getting a tee, I'd probably go for Grana, but I just think Everlane's got a bit more variety in their stock. So just a really nice easy long sleeve tee, and I went for my redone jeans again just because I wanted to mix it up and not wear the same jeans twice in a row. So with the button fly, I quite like the raw edge hem on these, and again they're comfortable. They don't have the same give as the Dr. Denim jeans, but I do really enjoy wearing those. I paired that with my Isabel Marant belt again, and then I also wore my Everlane day heels again as well, just as I knew we weren't going to be doing a lot of walking. If memory serves me, I think we just went out for lunch and that was kind of about it. So yeah, that was my outfit for Friday. Then Saturday's outfit, I actually got up quite early and I went with Luke's mum and also met my best friend at the Juliet Hogan sale. I had been wanting to pick up a few things from Juliet Hogan. The timing just ended up working out, and Lynn, Luke's mum, was quite keen to come along, so we went to that. What did I wear? Hold on. So I wanted to wear something that would be really easy to take on and off for getting changed, because I don't know if you guys have ever been to a sample sale, but it's pretty hectic. There's usually just a space where you get unchanged with everybody else into the items that you want to try on. So I wore this black and white striped tee from Brandy Melville, which I really like. It's just nice and loose and it's cotton, so very lightweight, breathable and comfortable to wear. And then I decided to pair that with my Uniqlo black trousers. So these I think are really great to wear for the office, but I also think that they're really nice to wear for a smart casual outfit. And because they have an elasticated waistband, they're really easy to pull on and off. And I actually only ended up getting trousers or bottoms while I was at the Juliet Hogan sale. So these were kind of the perfect pair of pants to be wearing that day. Then I wore my Sam Edelman loafers again. These were definitely one of my favorite kind of go-tos to wear because they're so comfortable. I did find that when I first got them, even though they were very comfortable to wear, I did get a little bit of discomfort across my foot just as they felt a little bit tight, but they've given a lot now and they're one of the most comfortable pairs of shoes that I have in my wardrobe. And then I also took my tote bag because I figured that would be a really easy way to kind of just put any shopping in there. We ended up going to a sunglasses store afterwards. I didn't buy anything, but it made things a lot easier because it meant I could throw my scarf in there and that sort of thing. So yes, definitely the way to go. Then on Sunday we went up to Waipu and we got to go and see Luke's parents' place, and I'm going to insert a photo of the view here, but they just have the most stunning house. It's almost finished being built. Maybe it will be by the time this video goes up, but essentially it's nestled in native bush. It almost feels like you're in the middle of nowhere. However, there are houses around, you just can't see them because they're obscured by the trees. So it's really beautiful and very calm and peaceful, and definitely somewhere that I think Luke and I will be spending a lot of summers in the years to come. Hopefully they don't mind us coming and visiting too often. But so I wanted to wear something really comfortable. We also stopped off in Matakana to go for lunch at one of the cafes there. So I wore my Vince striped tee, and I wore that tucked into my Dr. Denim jeans. Where have I put them? I'm surrounded by clothes right now. Yeah, my Dr. Denim jeans. Again, super comfortable and perfect for long car rides. Then I also wore my Sarah Van Oosterom belt just because I feel like it pairs really nicely, and because I wanted to wear this really gorgeous oversized sweater from Stella McCartney. This was a find from Real, and honestly it's just one of my favorite things that I've come across. It's super soft and snuggly, and I did wear my Acne Studio scarf over this and I think it paired really beautifully. I was also wearing my Stella coat, and then on my feet I went with my Sam Edelman loafers again. Bag wise, I wore my little bag just because I knew I wasn't in anything bigger, so I just had this one on. Our last day in Auckland was the Monday, and we flew out around 3 o'clock, memory serves me, so I just wanted something really comfortable for the plane ride, and was also just going through what I hadn't worn already. I realized at that point that I had taken way too many tops, much more than I actually needed. So I wore this red and white striped long sleeve top from ASOS. I really like this. It was something that I bought in a haul video that I did where I kind of picked up a few things and then kept my favorites, and I've been so impressed with it. It's just really nice and soft and quite thick as well, very comfortable. So I wore that tucked into my redone denim jeans, nice and chill. And then on my feet I wore my Everlane Boss boots. So I actually only wore these on the plane on the way there and on the way back, so I'm going to come back to my thoughts on taking these with me in a moment, but I normally wouldn't pair these with jeans like the redone ones just because I prefer to wear something that's a lot more narrow at the ankle, but I didn't mind the way that it looked. Around my waist I wore my Isabel Marant leather belt just because I think that this works really well with those jeans. I don't really think that the redone jeans look great with the Sarah Van Oosterom belt. The coloring's not particularly right. And then the bag that I used was my Kuyana leather tote just because this is my personal item for on the plane. So kind of had all of my different little bits and bobs tucked away in there. I do have another tee that I did actually wear on the day that I flew to New Zealand, and that was this Currently in Love tee. Everything else you will have already seen, but I just thought I'd quickly mention that this was also something else that I did wear. Now onto the two items that I didn't wear. As I mentioned, I did take a few too many tops with me. I didn't end up wearing this long sleeved Proenza Schooler top. Now the reason why is because I found that I didn't actually need to wear too many long sleeve tops. I was wearing these huge oversized sweaters pretty much every single day, and I found that that with a t-shirt underneath was really sufficient. It wasn't super cold, and coincidentally I found that it's actually colder first thing in the morning in Sydney than it is first thing in the morning in New Zealand, in Auckland and Wellington. So that was interesting. However, it does get a lot warmer here. So that was the first one. And then the other top, which I actually thought would probably be a great option if we went out for another dinner, just paired with my Dr. Denim skinny jeans, was this Kate Sylvester black merino turtleneck sweater. I've had this for a really long time, and it's just a classic piece that I find is a really great option to have in my carry-on or in my suitcase when I am traveling. So yeah, that was another thing that I didn't end up wearing at all, and I probably could have left at home. I also think, now looking back at how often I wore jeans, I probably didn't need to take my Uniqlo trousers with me. I sort of almost felt like I had to wear them on the trip, and I'm really not opposed to repeating my outfits. I've got absolutely zero problems with it. I did end up wearing, you know, the same kind of pieces over and over again on this trip, so I think I would have been fine with just 2 pairs of jeans. The other thing I think I could have left at home were my Maybelline Boss boots, and I will say these take up a lot of prime real estate in your suitcase, which was part of the reason why I wore them on my way over to New Zealand and on my way home. I left them in my suitcase when I flew up to Auckland, and it was such a squeeze getting everything in. And given that I only actually wore them during those travel periods, I really don't think I needed them because I had a high heel already and I had a really nice pair of comfortable flats. It also thankfully wasn't cold enough to warrant needing something to cover my ankles. I didn't really find that my feet were cold at all wearing my loafers or my day heels, so yeah, probably a shoe I could have left at home, particularly given that it was going to be such a relaxed holiday. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video, that you found it interesting or useful, and that maybe it will help you with planning for your own week-long trip away using a carry-on only. Anyway, I would love to know what your favorite piece was in the description box below. I would say mine definitely has to be the Stella McCartney pink sweater. It's one of the recent additions to my wardrobe and something that I know I'm going to be getting so much wear out of before winter ends here in Sydney. Anyway, thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you next time with a brand new video. See you soon. Bye!